Would you consider Whitehead's Model A theory of everything?
Well, it's certainly a comprehensive cosmology that, as he put it, his intent was to provide a scheme of categories that could adequately describe every possible experience that we might have, whether it's within science, within religion and spirituality, within art, within everyday life. And so that's a theory of everything, but I think obviously broader than just what gets called a theory of everything or a grand unifying theory in physics. This is meant to encompass the whole of human interest and concern and outlook, not just natural science. But I think, I'm also tempted, just as I would, try to bring that balancing polarity and avoid just saying, oh, well, we have to be naturalistic because, I would wonder about where's the place of spirit in that. And I wouldn't want to go in the opposite direction from naturalism and say, I'm a spiritualist, even if I think spirit is just as real as nature in some sense. But in terms of a theory of everything, I'm tempted to also say, hey, well, what about nothing? We need to talk about nothing, even if we're going to sort of performatively unsay what we say about nothing. But, Whitehead has a term creativity, which is his ultimate category. And I think one of the words used traditionally going back in Western philosophy and theology, and especially negative theology, mystical theology, for what Whitehead means by creativity would be nothingness, but a kind of fecund or fertile nothingness from out of which everything issues. And so, yeah, we can call it a theory of everything, but we shouldn't forget that there's more or less than everything, depending on how you want to talk about it. So nothing has a role to play here as well.
Yeah. So that in that sense, it's like an evolving theory of everything, or like, would it even be called a theory of everything? I don't know if I coined it, but there's a term that I like to use, which is a theory of unified metaphysics, where rather than a theory of everything.
And people are putting meta in front of different things now to signal like a even broader and more going beyond any prior limits. But, there's a sense in which there are no things anymore in Whitehead's cosmos, right? There are events, there are processes, there are creative happenings, actual occasions. And, we can redefine what we mean by thing or really emphasize the gerund, and throw that into process. But yeah, just playing with words here. But I think it's important to get the full sense of he's a systematic philosopher who wants to include everything, but also it's an open system. The universe itself is unfinished. So of course, our attempts to know the nature of that universe are also going to remain unfinished. So theory of everything can sound a little hubristic. That's what we're aiming for, but lest we become a little bit too full of ourselves, I doubt we'll finally succeed in tying up all the loose ends.